Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. We'll tell you more about what they do coming up later on in the show. You can sign up for a free 14-day free trial now at aura.com/chatsports. On today's show, we'll look at 5 Seahawks roster battles, some key positions to break down for this team as we count you down towards training camp. Before we get to that, though, this month here at Chat Sports is all about the likes, and we got some catching up to do here on Seahawks Today with the rest of the big channels like the Cowboys and the Raiders and others. We don't want to be left behind in the dust. So like today's video, let's do our parts and compete with the best of the best here on Chat Sports. And like today's video as we celebrate this great month of June, like a video month on YouTube, that is. You see everybody with their flags celebrating, having a great time. Like the video today and show your support now. So for the Seahawks, this team is going through a lot of changes this year. Everybody knows that. And in particular, the quarterback position for the Seahawks is one that comes to mind right away. And you already knew about that. You're pretty smart. Not hard to figure out that this Seahawks team is trying to figure out where they're going to go from here as far as replacing Russell Wilson goes. Now, as of right now, based on who has received those first-team reps, Geno Smith is that number one quarterback from what we've heard from Seahawks coaches at this point in time. With that said, that puts Drew Lock getting second-team reps as the number 2 quarterback, but this is an open competition, as Pete Carroll has talked about for many weeks now, going into training camp between those two, but the edge is to Geno Smith right now, so we've been told anyway. You look back at the numbers from 2021 of both these quarterbacks, you can see Geno Smith filling in for Russell Wilson did a decent job with a completion percentage around 68%, over 700 passing yards, just 1 interception, and 5 touchdowns in the spot duty he did there. Meanwhile, Drew Lock, in his situation, he filled in for Teddy Bridgewater with the Denver Broncos last year after losing his starting job in training camp that he had the year previously, and Lock was not impressive with a 60% completion percentage, just over 700 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions last year. So those are the numbers for both these guys. There's also a possibility that they could still bring in another quarterback as well to compete with Geno Smith and Drew Lock at this point in time. So that's where things stand right now. I would think that I would agree with the coaching staff that Geno Smith is who they like right now, that he would be, if the season started today, your quarterback number 1. But if this goes on as we count down closer to training camp and get through all of that, my guess would be that when it's all said and done, when Drew Lock has time to learn this system, that if it's just between these two, Drew Lock more than likely would be your starter for week 1 when that time comes around. But we'll see what happens there. The running back group, for me, it doesn't necessarily matter who the starter is because it's going to be by committee anyway, with Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker III, both very good running backs. You look at Rashad Penny, what he did last year in his first 32 games as opposed to his last 5 games of his career. The first 32 games were not great with just 5 touchdown runs in that stretch. But then last year, he really turned it on at the end of the season with 6 touchdown runs, 7.3 yards per carry, 671 yards. He was really good towards the finish there. Now you add in Kenneth Walker III from Michigan State, who was just electric last year, one of the best running backs in all of college football with 18 touchdowns and 1,600 yards last season. You have a really good 1-2 punch. So for me, it doesn't matter who your starter is. I like Walker a little more than I do Rashad Penny, but that's not a knock on Rashad Penny by any means. I think you're fine either way. You're going to split the load, going to try to keep both these guys fresh and make this happen. So if you had to pick one, though, if you're not like me and you just like both guys, if you had to pick one of the two, let me know in the comments section. This is our pinned comment today. Is it Kenneth Walker III? Is it Rashad Penny? Let me know. Type KW for Kenneth Walker. Type RP for Rashad Penny. And you're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. KW for Kenneth Walker. RP for Rashad Penny. Now, for the third wide receiver position, it's kind of anyone's guess at this point, right? We all know that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are your number 1 and number 2 receivers. No question about that. But then once you get past that, things really open up at that point. Freddie Swain, Marquise Goodwin, Dee Eskridge, all those guys will be competing for that number 3 receiver spot. You see the depth chart on your screen right now. There's a lot of options that the Seahawks have to work with, and it's not necessarily clear one way or the other. This is very wide open, and it could change as the season goes on. It could come down to who has the hot hand one day, who connects with one quarterback better than another. I mean, there's a lot of variables here at this point in time. What I would say is don't rule out Dee Eskridge, though. Dee Eskridge, for me, is the guy that I think could really surprise some people, work that way up the depth chart, and be that number 3 receiver when the season gets started. Today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. You can start a free 14-day trial at aura.com/chatsports. Let's tell you a little bit about what our friends at Aura do. They provide financial fraud protection. Get near or real-time alerts on suspicious credit inquiries. You can also keep your identity secure with extensive monitoring of your personal info. Shop, bank, work online more safely and privately. And the best part about it all, you keep your loved ones protected as well with activities safe from hackers. Online activities safe from hackers. They'll have you covered there. So sign up for Aura today. We've been doing so here at Chat Sports, and the results have been terrific. We are so much safer now than we were before, and we're not looking back on it. So I don't want you to be looking back with regrets either. Sign up now for Aura, aura.com/chatsports. Free 14-day trial just for my Seahawks Today viewers. So sign up now. You will not regret it. All right, a couple more position battles. Let's look at the offensive line, in particular the right tackle spot. And right now, it seems like Abraham Lucas has the edge at that right tackle spot. But that's not set in stone yet. I think Jake Curhan still has a chance to hold his own and still compete for this job. But Abraham Lucas, the thing that I see, if you look at his numbers last year from the blogger boys at Pro Football Focus of what they put together, the overall grade for Lucas, 78.6, solid. The pass blocking was terrific. But that run blocking at 68.3 is going to need some work. He is really going to need to learn how to run block at this next level, something that he did not have to do a whole lot of at Washington State. But the impressive part, 0 sacks allowed. So I like Abraham Lucas, but there's still a project at hand with Abraham Lucas. Now, you go to Jake Curhan's numbers of what he did last year. Obviously, we're not trying to compare college to NFL numbers by any stretch of the imagination. But with that said, Curhan's numbers they left a lot hanging, I would say. 4 sacks allowed. Pass blocking grade, not very good. 37.2. Overall grade, 54. Run blocking, 62.1. So with that being said, you can see that Jake Curhan, his strength comes to run blocking, and Abraham Lucas' strength is pass blocking. Maybe you see a little bit of both, of where Curhan is more out there for run blocking schemes, or you see Abraham Lucas out there for pass blocking schemes. But I like what I've seen from Lucas. Everything that we've heard throughout minicamp and offseason OTAs, Lucas appears to be on the right track, but give him time. It's not going to be overnight that he's going to learn how to run block at that elite level at the NFL. Now, with that said, will Abraham Lucas start week 1 at right tackle for the Seahawks? That is what I want to know from you guys. If you think he will, then like today's video, if that's the case. If you don't think he's going to start week 1, whether it is Jake Curhan or if they bring in somebody else, whoever it may be, let me know in the comment section one way or the other if Abraham Lucas is going to be the starter for the Seahawks at right tackle week 1. Coming up later this week on the channel, we will do another trade rumors mailbag. But the only way that you can be a part of that mailbag is if you are subscribed to Seahawks Today. So go ahead and subscribe now, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Go to our community tab, submit all your trade ideas there. I will break them down one by one, and we're going to have a good time doing it. So subscribe now if you're not already. Go to that community tab, get your trade ideas in, and we'll react to them later in the week here on the channel, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. The last one I want to look at is the cornerback position, and this one is really wide open in all avenues for this Seahawks team. You look at the starting cornerbacks right now, Artie Burns, Sidney Jones, Justin Coleman would be those three guys. But the separation beyond that is not much. You know, whether it's Trey Brown or Coby Bryant, I mean, these guys all have a legit shot. You know, it sounded crazy when Coby Bryant got drafted back in April of the idea of could a fourth-round pick potentially start for the Seahawks day one. But the way things have gone with what we've heard about Coby Bryant and all the praise that he's gotten over the last couple of weeks, it's not out of question that he ends up winning one of those jobs when it's all said and done. So I look at that depth chart that we showed you there. This is far from over this cornerback spot. I have no idea what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. Those are your three guys for now, but this is an evolving process. This is a wide-open competition to get those spots there, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be very intriguing at the end of the day who the starting cornerbacks are for the Seahawks here in 2022. Before we go, I want to know, what Seahawks position battle are you watching? What is the one that intrigues you, that gets the most attention? Was it one of these that we just named, whether it was the cornerback position, wide receiver 3, quarterback, running back, right tackle, or was it one we did not mention? Let me know one way or the other what one is the most intriguing, what catches your eye of those position battles, and we'll see you later in the week here on Seahawks Today. Thanks for joining us.